Anthony Spilotro was a notorious mobster affiliated with the Chicago outfit, involved in organized crime from the 1950s until his violent death in 1986. His life and criminal activities took him across several cities in the U.S., particularly Chicago and Las Vegas, where he became infamous for his brutal methods, murder involvement, and eventual downfall. Early life in Chicago, 1938–1960s. Anthony John Spilotro was born on May 19, 1938, in Chicago, Illinois, one of 6 children. His family owned a modest restaurant, and though they were legitimate, Spilotro quickly gravitated toward street crime. By the time he was a teenager, he was already involved in petty theft and other small criminal activities. In the early 1960s, Spilotro aligned himself with the Chicago outfit, a powerful mafia organization that controlled organized crime in the city. He was mentored by Mad Sam DeStefano, one of the city's most feared loan sharks. Under DeStefano, Spilotro earned a reputation for violence and ruthlessness, establishing himself as an enforcer. During this time, Spilotro was implicated in several murders, often linked to mob executions. He is believed to have killed individuals who threatened the outfit's interests, or people who violated the mafia's code. His brutal methods earned him the nickname Tony the Ant. Las Vegas, 1970s to 1980s. Spilotro's most infamous chapter began when he moved to Las Vegas in the 1970s. By this time, the Chicago outfit sought control over the burgeoning casino business in Las Vegas, using the skim, taking unreported cash profits, to funnel money back to Chicago. Spilotro was sent to oversee the operations and protect the outfit's financial interests. In Las Vegas, Spilotro operated under the front of running a jewelry store called the Gold Rush, but it was primarily a front for fencing stolen goods. His role as the mob's enforcer in Las Vegas involved shaking down casino executives and intimidating anyone who interfered with the outfit's control over the casinos. Spilotro was also involved in forming a gang of burglars known as the Hole-in-the-Wall Gang. The gang earned its name by breaking into homes, businesses, and vaults by drilling through walls to avoid setting off alarms. Their robberies included high-profile targets like luxury jewelry stores and homes of the wealthy. Murders and criminal activities. Spilotro's time in Las Vegas was marked by a string of murders and violent crimes. He was implicated in various mob hits, both in Las Vegas and Chicago, as he was known for using extreme violence to eliminate rivals and suspected informants. Some of his most famous murders include Billy McCarthy and Jimmy Miraglia, 1976. The two gangsters were suspected of killing outfit members. Spilotro brutally tortured and killed them, a scene later depicted in the movie Casino. Tamara Rand, 1975, a real estate investor who crossed paths with the mob. Rand was shot dead in her home. Spilotro was believed to be involved in her killing. Legal troubles and surveillance. Spilotro's violent reign in Las Vegas did not go unnoticed. The FBI, in cooperation with state and local law enforcement, began intense surveillance on him, trying to connect him to a series of robberies, murders, and mob activities. In 1984, he was indicted on multiple charges, including racketeering and conspiracy, but he managed to evade significant prison time for years. His high-profile and increasingly reckless behavior, along with the FBI's mounting pressure, began to draw unwanted attention to the Chicago outfit's Las Vegas operations. The mafia became wary of Spilotro, as his actions endangered their lucrative casino schemes. Death and the Cornfield Murders, 1986. Spilotro's downfall came in 1986. Fearing that he was drawing too much attention and possibly becoming a liability, the Chicago outfit decided to eliminate him. On June 14, 1986, Spilotro and his brother Michael were lured to a basement in Bensonville, Illinois, under the guise of a mob meeting. Once there, they were savagely beaten to death. Their bodies were buried in a cornfield in Indiana. Their deaths were depicted in Casino, where the brothers were beaten with baseball bats. Their bodies were discovered days later, confirming their brutal fate. Media portrayal and documentaries. Spilotro's life has been the subject of numerous documentaries, books, and films. The most famous portrayal of Spilotro in popular culture was Joe Pesci's character Nicky Santoro in Casino, 1995, directed by Martin Scorsese. The film depicts much of Spilotro's activities in Las Vegas, including his brutal methods and eventual murder. Documentaries like Mobsters and The Real Casino delve into Spilotro's violent career and the larger context of organized crime in Las Vegas during the 1970s and 1980s. These documentaries include interviews with former law enforcement officers, journalists, and others who tracked Spilotro and his associates. In these accounts, Spilotro is remembered as one of the most violent and feared figures in organized crime history, someone who mixed brutal violence with a flair for running sophisticated criminal enterprises, ultimately leading to his bloody demise. Thanks for tuning into Sika True Crime Docs. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more captivating tales. Your support helps us keep bringing these stories to life. See you in the next episode.